Yes.
John, or Jacob. I have. We were just talking about Johnny. I have so many challenges for you for various amounts of money for you to tell stories, like whiskey stories in Japan, or just any
Lordy.
Jacob story.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I feel like.
All right.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but
That's
I'm
all right.
kind of putting you on the spot.
That's fine. Is there a specific request with the highest donation amount? Like the highest donation?
And also, you were talking about like tripling stuff up. Is there some physical challenges that could be thrown in there at the same time?
Oh no! Like there's just multiple Jacob story challenges.
Oh, I see.
So we're gonna. So we're gonna.
Okay.
He told
You all have to chip in.
To get to know people. I'm like, oh,
Seriously.
you have good stories. Oh, this is going to be great. Like random person you've never met. What a great way to.
Oh, and and people
know
also
folks.
want to see your tongue twister vocal warm up routine, which I've seen because the first time I met you, you were taking the streaming thing we do very seriously, and I was like, oh, honey, no. Oh.
I
But it
take
was-
everything very seriously.
I know. I really appreciated your dedication, and it was 9:15, and I'm not a morning person, so I was like barely acknowledging your existence while I was trying to get as much coffee into my body as possible. And then we turned it on the stream, and I was like, "Hello!" And yet you were so scared, and you stuck around for the whole stream because you were a professional, sir.
Thank you. I'm not.
How's it going?
They have my family.
I haven't
help
crashed it yet.
Nice.
Okay, so story time. How much time
Got it.
would you? How much time do I have?
What's the story?
Good indeed.
I'm gonna give a choice depending on how much time I have. I told a story yesterday. It seemed to go very, very well. I have a story about the hot toddy in Ireland, the abscessed tooth and hot toddy in Ireland.
I've heard that story. It's a good
Bartending
one.
for Yakuza in Japan. The disastrous. I have 3 stories about my trip to China.
So wait, the bartending story you told yesterday, that was not in Japan?
No,
That makes everything make a
The
lot more
bartending
sense.
story I told yesterday was up in the Helderberg Mountains in upstate New York.
Okay, that makes way
that
more
leads
sense.
up to the Yakuza story.
Sounds like you're on
I missed that anglerfish head.
This is actually James Bond?
No,
Yeah.
I just travel and I'm dumb. There's no.
Doesn't that kind of
I
describe
don't think
James
you're arching
Bond?
that. I feel like you can't leave here without knowing the Yakuza story.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
okay.
you told the lead up to it yesterday. You might
I
as well
did.
tell the.
So
Okay.
Jacob, for time, we're at hour 54 of 141. So if you could keep it to under 90 hours, that would be great.
And
All
we're
right.
starting a donation drive in 8 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So somewhere between
We might-
8 minutes and 90 hours.
8
Or-
minutes and 90 hours. Okay.
Or we'll just pause you to start the donation drive and then continue.
I can absolutely do that. Okay. So I have lived in Japan 3 times, and I don't know why I said this down. I have lived in Japan 3 times in my life. The first time was in a town called Saga-ken, in the middle of Kyushu. The second time was in Osaka. The third time was in Tokyo. When I lived in Osaka, I did things outside of the purview of my visa, which was to go and teach English to horrible children. And I did some performing, I did some acting while I was there. In one television show, I played both the judge and the bailiff and spoke with myself. Because it didn't matter, they just needed a white dude to do the thing and wear a wig and then a hat, and they barely changed my costume. That was fun.
Phone over there?
What's that?
I've heard it. But it's,
Possibly Harry ate it?
Someone is looking for their
I
phone.
think somebody's
That's me.
phone is in
there
there.
it is.
Oh, that's where it went. Cool, thank you.
No,
Sorry,
mine is-
sorry,
okay,
Jacob.
no, that's okay. I was like, mine's on Do Not Disturb. I hope I didn't just interrupt myself.
Nope.
Okay. What did I just say? Yes. So I was doing acting things, and I met while I was doing acting things, I met a lovely woman named Hiroka, who was just opening a new bar that she called the Love Chick, because Japan.
Yep.
Now in Japan, zoning laws and things are weird. They build everything up, and you can have an apartment building with like 18 bars in it. So I.
It's so unusual.
Yep, and it's just signs all the way up, and this is right near the Dotonbori River, like right off. So this is like the heavy drinking spot.
Oh, yeah, we've been
and
there.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh hey, I would really like it if you did like English language Sundays. And I'm going to put out an ad, and people can come in and you know how to tend bar, and I'll teach you how to make some basic Japanese bar food and things like that."
That sounds
I was
awesome.
like, "Cool, great, that sounds fantastic." So I go and I start tending bar. And the very first day that I'm in there, she is with me, like just to kind of help ease me into everything. I speak Japanese, but she didn't want me to speak Japanese while I was tending bar.
Grab the mic.
And it's a very, very...
The mic, yeah, grab the mic.
Am I not loud enough?
No, well, it's you're doing a thing. You can have the more present.
Whatever you'd like.
Go for it.
Ta-da.
Okay, great. Okay. So I was that very first time with Hiroka, and it's a very, very small room. Like, it pretty much every seat at the bar is every seat on this couch, and it's me behind the bar. And there are, like, 4 women there, and I'm chatting them up and helping them with their grammar and English, and, like, one of them was a college student, like, literally brought in textbooks and was like, great, you're a free tutor, I'm gonna drink, and you're gonna teach me, like, grammar structure and things like that. And I was like, yes, I am. Good. Excellent.
job now.
Thank you. This is my job now. Now, in Japan, you do not tip your bartender. You instead buy them drinks.
Oh no.
Sounds bad.
This will come into play. You buy them drinks. So I'm sitting there and I'm drinking and like sipping and things like that. And then 6 men in suits come in.
Uh-oh.
With one dude in a white tank top and no hair. And somebody I can only describe as being upset that they didn't have any more flesh to tattoo. Came in and immediately, like, all the women that were at the bar got up and left. Like, soundlessly, like it was choreographed. And I was like, cool. And they sat down, and the gentleman, who I could only assume to be the lead gentleman, sits down, speaks with Hiroka in very, very thick Osaka Ben, which is the closest equivalent in English is like thick Bostonian English, like from Boston, like, bleh. And I couldn't understand any of it because, meh.
It's just a really thick accent.
Yeah, it was a really thick accent, and
It's the accent they use in anime when they want someone to be like kind of dumb.
a little bit tough or like
Like more of a-
business oriented.
Or like sometimes like, oh, you're from Osaka. You're
Yeah.
like a little bumpkiny.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's they like a little bumpkin or things like that, or Kansai Ben, which is the surrounding area.
Right.
So they start speaking, and then he turns to me, and he goes, "You teach English," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then Hiroka leaves,
Oh no.
and I'm like, "Okay, good. Yes, I will teach English." He's like, "Okay, drinks," and I was like, "All right. Well, you normally say." Please, and he goes, no. I was like, great, this is going to go really well. So I'm serving all of them, like everything is just whiskey on the rocks. And they're like, good job. You and you. And he points to like the new guy that came in with the suit that looks like he bought on sale, that was like a little too big, and takes off his glasses, and he goes, what do you like? What did he say specifically? Like, pretty much like what you like drink. And I was like, Jack Daniels, which was, I drank Jack Daniels at the bar,
Right.
like, yes, and that's how I learned how to drink Jack Daniels. And I was like, Jack Daniels, great. And this is literally the next summer. I was like, I like Jack Daniels. And he goes, you, shoot. And I was like, great, awesome, 1, 2. And I was like, cheers. And he was like, I was like, cheers. English time. And he's like, good. So we clink glasses and shoot it back, and I put the whiskey down on the thing, and he goes, oh, and then coughs, and then the guy next to him punches him in the face. And he goes down and then stands up and sits back down like nothing ever happened.
The continuity.
Just bleeding from the nose. And I was just like I went to reach for tissues and put them out, and like the head guy just went, and I was like, he bleeds. Yeah, and I put it back, and then we all keep drinking. They get hammered. Hiro comes back as if by magic, takes their money, says thank you, and then they go. And I'm like, hey, boss, what the bus is happening? And she's like, oh, I used to be a hostess, and that was my best customer. He bought me this bar as a gift. Great. Dang.
Wow.
So she's like, okay, come back next Sunday. And I was like, okay, great. And then she hands me a goodly amount of money. I am equivocating. It was an insane amount of money, and I said, thank you, and I went home, and then looked at the money and went, I'm an actor. And I went back next Sunday. Same thing. New guy. Like, the same, like, 5 dudes in the Enforcer, but a new guy. And he goes, so the whole thing, like, he's just like, you do the thing and stuff, and we're gonna talk. And, like, they asked for food this time. Hiroka left. And I make tamagoyaki in, like, the little pan behind the bar on, like, the little Bunsen burner. And then, like, he ate it and took one bite and put it down. And he says, no good, get better. I was like, great, awesome. I went to throw it out, and then he went, you eat. Good. I ate it, and they were like, oh, and then clapped, and I don't know why. I guess it was so bad that was like a, good job. And then he goes, shot. Good, great, please don't. Oh, you mean whiskey? Good, yes, awesome. So I grab the Jack Daniels, pour, shoot, back, down. He reacts, I don't. Couldn't have paid me to, and then the guy next to him punches him in the face. Down, up, blood. No towel this time. Screw that guy. And then, yeah, I was like, oh, that's good.
So this was a different guy you were drinking across.
It's a different guy drinking across from.
Okay.
And then he was like, no face. And they pointed at me, and I was like, what? Huh? You make no face. You are no face. I was like, yes, I am. That is great. Same thing. They leave. Hiroka, like Hiroka comes back. They pay him. They go. She gives me an insane amount of money, and then I go and come back the next Sunday. This goes on for a while, and they just start calling me No Face. And then I left Japan. That was it. Like, I was just like, I am done. I didn't quit. I didn't tell her I was leaving.
Oh, no.
I left, and when I moved back to Japan a year and a half later, I moved to a different city and only taught English. That was it. And that's how I ended up not dying by what I'm certain were Yakuza.
Wow. I have so many questions. Do you think that the new guy, every time, ever looked at the previous new guy, asked him, how'd your face
get all messed up?
Get all messed up.
I don't know
Hopefully he was there
that
to
they
ask.
had a choice.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
sounds like they very quickly discourage question asking.
Yeah, that's true.
Particular line of work.
Yes. Yep. Because they were like, look at the little gaijin, and you're supposed to be a big tough guy, and he didn't make a face, and you do the thing. And Jack Daniels has a weird legend in Japan as being like the tough bourbon and the tough whiskey.
Sure.
So they were just like, yeah, look at the tiny dude. You do the, punching.
This is a film
Yeah.
script and not a story that people tell like, oh yeah, I have a funny travel story. This is like a movie scene.
Well, and
like,
the continuity
this
is really good.
real.
You missed it yesterday, Tally, but he told a very similar story with biker gangs.
Oh my
In New York, that also ended with someone
Getting punched in the face.
someone getting punched, not him getting, but someone getting
No.
punched in the face.
No.
I'm not wondering so much how you have these crazy stories. I'm wondering how you're still alive to tell them.
I'm terribly broken and I hide it.
I'm starting to wonder
He's
why
No
we're.
Face.
Give him gold.
I'm just kind of starting to wonder why we're like so excited to hang out with Jacob. Well, like these are the stories he's telling. What's going to happen to us?
I'm happy to hang out with him. I just never want to drink with him. Because we're going to do shots, I'm going to make a face, and some biker of some nationality is going to appear and punch me out.
No, I'm just afraid that,
It'll be
5
him. He's a
years
sleeper
from now,
agent.
5 years from now, a grizzled and more scarred Jacob is going to show up on like AGDQ, and then he's going to be like talking about the time he did Desert Bus, and then everybody got punched.
I'm concerned. The good news is that they'll probably never find out because you wouldn't have told it on a live broadcast.
Yeah.
That might have been seen by a heavily.
Yeah, no, I thought about that. Please continue.
All right, good.
We're not. Our location isn't public.
Great. Good.
It's great that we're
You live
doing,
here now.
Yeah, I do.
It's great that we're doing this from
Well,
Montreal.
now I want to go. Now I want to go back to Osaka and try to find that bar.
I changed
Just don't
the
say.
names.
Yeah, just don't say
I
that you
did
know
not
No
use
Face.
actual names of anything except for Dotonbori.
Yeah,
I
I like
believe
the idea
you.
of a picture of Jacob with the no face
Yeah.
But it's actually your face for the no face.
Yeah.
But it's the black cloak, handing out gold to people. It's booze.
Do you really? Yeah, why not?
Thank you to everybody who's just throwing in some donations because we did have a lot of challenges for Jacob's stories, and thank you for throwing in a few bucks for that. Frankly,
The Yakuza-
terrifying jaunt through your through your young adulthood.
The
I guess.
Yakuza aren't just gonna like do something to a random tourist unless
you have drawn their ire somehow.
Yeah.
You know.
Strongly.
Yeah.
you got to really try.
Yeah. No.
They got
yeah.
work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't.
The administration that goes along with killing
Yeah.
people or anything is like.
Well, you're just
Yeah,
like an
I played
insect
all the
to
Yakuza
them.
games mostly as a what not to do.
I do like
Yeah.
that your story and mine both involve stern-faced people
Oh right.
with guns, right? I mean, like
I didn't know
or
they
not
had a
their
gun. I
guns or
hope they
whatever.
didn't. Oh
Whatever.
lordy.
But guns are way less
sure,
common.
whatever.
Yeah.
But just violent people, but
Yeah.
they come out as the heroes.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, it still says Jer on my overlay.